The Nigerian corrupt politician is worse than the devil himself. The Nigerian corrupt politician has a heart that is darker than coal. The Nigerian corrupt politician is in my opinion, wicked, dark soul. A few days ago, the EFCC, under its new leadership, launched a new initiative to curb corruption and stealing of government funds. Now, of course, from the reports, I'll quickly share with you some of the things that, of course, this new tool is going to be doing. It says, we have also developed a remarkable tool which we intend to deploy to prevent corruption in our ministries, departments, and agencies. The tool is a fraud risk assessment project, which is also being unveiled today, which was a few days ago. And it's meant to assist government agencies to address systemic vulnerabilities at personnel, institutional, and environmental levels and take preemptive measures. When fully deployed, it will save the nation billions of naira in stolen wealth, time, and resources spent in. I'll start by saying that it is commendable for the agency, at least for the effort. The new EFCC chairman needs to be encouraged as much as possible, and really, I'll say good luck to them. But it's a good moment to look and talk about corruption and the corruption that they want to fight. It's important to say that corruption isn't peculiar to just Nigeria, even though we have been very, very poorly rated in the corruption index for the last decade and more. And again, the corrupt Nigerian politician is worse than the devil. Corruption happens everywhere in the world. What differs between here and maybe, other countries like South Korea is how harsh and unshakable their punitive measures are. At least to set a good example, if you remember, their former president Park Geun-hye was sentenced to 20 years in prison in 2017 for corruption. She was eventually pardoned in 2021, but what's important is that the country showed you that no matter how highly placed you are, you will go to prison. Now, one of the most painful parts of our corruption here in Nigeria is how devilish it is. And the devilish is even putting it mildly, because if you take a look at how negatively corruption has affected us, the giant of Africa that can't boast of 10,000 megawatts of electricity. Just in the news a few minutes ago, you heard that the power grid dropped to about 30 megawatts of electricity. It's shameful. The giant of Africa that can't boast of hospitals to treat its own leaders. The giant of Africa with the highest number of poor people and out-of-school children. I call it devilish because everyone who has stolen from Nigeria's wealth regularly travels abroad. They see what societies are like over there. They enjoy the benefits of a functional system. They enjoy the benefits of the people whose taxes and government earnings are actually used to fix their country. They enjoy these things. They see the roads, the hospitals, the trains, the school, the security, the transportation system. They enter everywhere. They see the ambulances. They see the infrastructure. They see how citizens can actually plan their lives. They see everything. Then they come back home, they run for office, and they steal more and more, and then take that money and buy themselves citizenships of those functional countries. The Nigerian corrupt politician is worse than the devil. A few days ago, I saw this post on social media by a man called Roger Johnson, and I'll just share a little bit. It says, what I hate about corruption in Africa, and specifically Nigeria, is there's no real sense to it. The corruption paralyzes and destroys the countries internally. There is no sense to it whatsoever. What is the sense in not having electrical power? Roads, functioning hospitals. It's like corruption for the sake of corruption. I don't see any sense in it. He goes on, of course, to talk about how corruption is also existing in the West, but corruption and still being in existence doesn't stop the fact that construction and work still gets done. Now, this is just to put it into perspective again, and once again repeat that the corrupt Nigerian politician is wicked and evil. And like Roger Johnson is asking, what's the sense in not having electricity? What's the sense in having 30 megawatts of electricity, of power generated? What's the sense in not having water or roads? How much of a heartless creature do you have to be to see millions of starving homeless children across northern Nigeria and yet continue to steal and mismanage resources that will give those children a better life? What is the sense in stealing money that could have given millions of people, including yourself, better health care? And then you go to Germany when you feel sick. Where's the sense in it? When you travel on trains in England or America, isn't there anything in you that makes you want to come back home and put the same thing back at home? Again, the Nigerian corrupt politician is a vile creature. Well, just to mention, corruption isn't left for politicians alone. This message is also directed to the Nigerian government worker, the contractor, the head of ministry or agency. Let's keep in mind that corruption is not just transferring money into private accounts. It's also giving contracts to wives and girlfriends. It's in inflating contract figures and getting it approved through the back door. It is nepotism. It's putting unqualified people in office who then fail to deliver. It is taking cuts to approve inflated contracts and not caring if those contracts were delivered or not. It is diverting security budgets, thereby making proper policing almost impossible. And that's why you continue to hear of children being kidnapped in Nigeria. It is sickening. Take a good look at our country and just imagine how beautiful it could have been. Look at the Niger Delta and imagine how many lives could have been affected if the trillions that have been sent through the NDDC were properly utilized. Do the people in the government in UAE have two heads? They don't. And so how can you hate your fellow Nigerians so much that you deprive millions the most basic things? Again, the corrupt Nigerian politician is an evil, vile creature. Good morning, Nigeria.